So now we're going to get to know our other baby. He's not very young. He's just been missing in action for a bit. This is none other than DJ Richie. Karibu. They're saying you come as you're dancing.
Tell us about the VTI.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I hope I'm not going to take too long. I cannot cover the time you've saved for me. So I'll just get right to it. Hopefully it's not too long and not too short. I could not just, for me, I had to take a lot of notes. I thought about it. I was called yesterday. I was ambushed on Friday during swallowship at East, and I was told on Tuesday you are doing it, and I forgot since there was alcohol involved. I was called yesterday in the afternoon while I was busy at work and told it's today. So forgive me if I miss anything. You can see me later. I'll normally hang around after for any questions. All right. My favorite color is green, and I love cooking. Wow. So, how many of you like ice cream? Oh, you don't like ice cream? So if it's yes or no, then you'll find out if I came with any. So my life is like an ice cream recipe. It's just a simple recipe. Ice cream is normally made with 3 or 4 ingredients. Mine is 3. So the first one is family. I am an only child of a single mom. Luckily enough, in this club, I have a namesake who can remind me every day about my mom. She's called Jane Wanjiko. My mom is also called Jane Wanjiko. I have 3 kids. I'm married to one woman, Sally Werimo. I'm married to one woman called Sally Werimo Njomo. I have 3 kids. Again, we share a name with Anjiko. My son is called Allen, and his son is also called Allen. They are also the same age. He's 10, and her son is also 10. Yeah. My second born is called Aileen Wanjiko. Hash is 6, and my third born is called Ailey Morenga. We are all a family of A's. All my kids are A's. Yeah. Education. I didn't go to as many schools. I just went to 3 schools. Nursery, I went to Kenya Teachers College Nursery School. As new parents, we call it nowadays playgroup. Primary, I went to 2 primary schools. Heshima Primary School is in Eastlands, and City Primary School, it's in Ngara. Secondary, I crossed the fence from City Primary and went to Jamhuri High School. College, I went to Bodywise Training College, where I did my course in fitness instruction and sports science. That's my career. In secondary, that's where I had the passion for sports, and that's how I ended up in fitness and sports science. I used to do 3 major sports. I used to do marathon running, 42 kilometers and 21, swimming, and basketball. I got into marathon through my uncles. Then they used to play football when I was very young. So when they used to go for those morning runs, I used to run with them. Then they were in high school. I was in class 4 and 5, and I could keep up with them. And that's how I kept the energy to become a marathon runner, which I did throughout my high school up to when I finished high school. The best time I ever clocked in marathon was 2 hours, 21 minutes.
Wow.
Back then, 42. That's the full marathon. But the bad thing about our country is there's corruption, and once you're supposed to, when you click such a number, such a time, you're supposed to directly go to the Olympic team from high school. But when you go there, you are told, bring something small. And again, I was raised by a single mom, so we did not have something small to take. Swimming, I got into swimming because of a friend in high school. He used to swim from one end of the lap underwater, go at the end, come back, and go halfway without coming up for breath. So I told him, I need to know this. How? It was like magic for me. How are you going all that? It was a 20-meter pool. So you'd go, come back, 40 meters, another, so 50 meters without coming up for air. So he taught me how to swim, and that's how I got into swimming. Basketball was through one of my uncles. He was a great basketball player, and that's how I got into basketball. I've covered 2 recipes, family and education. The third one is sugar, which is now myself, a dash of me. What makes me? I like taking care of people, and I see a lot of my son in me, because in our estate we have around 15 kids, and Catherine can testify that my son is the caretaker of all the kids in our estates. I've learned patience and kindness through my wife. She's a very kind person, and actually one of the things that got me into Rotary is her kindness. She used to do a lot of support for education, sponsoring kids, making sure that she saves money and paying for fees for other kids in her estate, and that's how I got into charity and ended up in Rotary. Persistence, I've learned from my second born. She's very persistent. She'll ask you questions after question after question and never giving up. When she was learning how to ride a bike, she told me, Dad, I don't want trainers on the bicycle. I'm going to learn without trainers, and that's how she learned. So she's very persistent, and I've gotten the lessons for persistence through her. I've learned entertaining myself through my last born. How she can keep herself busy throughout. Her siblings go to school, she'll just go to a corner, entertain herself, here laughing. You're like, what's making you laugh? She just entertains herself. So I've learned how to keep ease through a stressful job through her. They say, show me your friends, or show me the books you read, or show me the songs you like, and I'll tell you about your friends. For me, I'll tell you, check my YouTube subscription, and that's me. I like, through YouTube, I've learned a lot. I've learned carpentry. That's what I do part-time as a hobby. I've learned a lot of IT. Actually, most of my friends are in IT, and I challenge them in any topic in IT at any given time. Michael, you can sit down and we can discuss IT right now. Cooking, as I said, my first cooking lesson, I think my mom, I was around 6, 7 years old. Class 6, class 7. My mom came home with an international cooking book that had so many awards. It was a French book, but it was translated in English. So I saw that book, and back then we didn't have internet. The only internet we had was 2G, was for SMSs and MMS, and that was it. I used to go to the soko and ask these people, do you have celery? And they look at me like, what is celery now? I go to this other person to get ingredients, and that's how I got my passion for cooking, followed it up through YouTube, learned so many recipes, and in our estate I'm known as the cook. So anytime you want to, for the Nyama Choma festival, I'll cook a little bit of meat. So make sure you come. Rotary. I joined Rotary through my neighbor. She encouraged me to join Rotary. because we used to do, when she always used to tell us there's something happening in Rotary, we always, I think, were the first to respond. And she told me, you should join. So she talked to me and motivated me, and I became a member of this club. So that's me, Richard Irungu Wanjiko, and ice cream. Wow.
I'm sure there are a lot of questions. You haven't talked about spinning.
Oh, career.
What we know you for?
How did you get
I got into DJing I got into the passion of music through my mom and my aunt. My mom is a lover of old school music, soul and oldies. My aunt is a lover of reggae. So I used to sit down with them and listen to music the whole night when they're just hanging out, the two of them. Me, I was just there listening to the music, and that's how I got the passion of music. And then one day when I was in high school, we had a funky. I don't know what yes. Yes, we had a funky, and we had DJ Adrian. I think most of you know DJ Adrian. Come in, and he was DJing, and I was back there at the corner. I was one of the planners for the event, and I was there at the corner, and I was looking, and I was being amazed. So after when he went for his break, when we were having something else, I kept asking him, how is it that you're touching this and it's gelling? So he offered me free lessons at his studio. That's how I started slowly by slowly. And then luckily enough, where we used to stay in Gashie, we had a neighbor who also was in events, and he was a DJ. It was just coincidence. Then he also, I trained with him through high school. Even when I was in college doing fitness and sports, I used to do DJing part-time. And that's how now, after I worked for 10 years, I sat down and thought, maybe I should follow this passion on full-time. I remember when I told my wife that I'm quitting work to do DJing, she was in shock. I was like, are we going to be able to pay rent? That was our first question. I'm like, we'll see, we'll survive. I think we will, but if we don't, I think I can go back. I can go back to the hotel industry. When I was doing fitness, I switched at some point when I went to Fairmont Hotel. They took me in for training for front office. And I excelled, and I shifted from the gym and to front office. And by the time I was quitting work, I was in front office and concierge. That's, the hours were too long. I came home one day, my baby could not know me. You go home for 2 weeks, you leave the house on a Monday morning, you tell your wife, see you in the afternoon, and then you come back 1.5 weeks later. Because guests come in, and you're told you have to take this guest to Mara, you have to take this guest from Mara again, all the way to Nanyuki, and then it's 1.5 weeks later. That's when you're going back home. So you carry your baby like this, she cries like this is a stranger. That's how I ended up quitting my job and going full-time on DJing and events. Yeah. Oh, age. This month I turned 16. My birthday is on 14th of February. Wow. Yes. I 36. Yeah, I turned 36. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you very much, DJ Richie, for sharing your story. Any questions to DJ Richie before we continue, or comments? Anyone want to share anything?